All right, so we are making our next part here. So the process on this is we're gonna face it, then we will turn it to the diameter. So we will center drill, drill a couple of different size drill bits to go, and then we will bore it to the size of the hole we need. So let's turn it on. So now I'm just gonna face to clean up. So as we cut this, so coming in here, so I'm gonna move in about 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths, and we're gonna face to clean up on this. Doesn't take a whole lot. About a 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths depth of cut is plenty. And we're coming right over to the center. Okay. And move off. So, turn this down. So, one thing that I just noticed when I did this is I've got like just a, well, it doesn't look like it, but if you get a dimple, that means the center of your cutting tool is below the center line or too high above. So you got to make sure your cutting tool is adjusted and is on center or slightly below. So there was my facing tool. So I'm going to come in and touch off on my OD now. So, and we got about 25 thousandths of material. So I'm touching off there. I'm going to set my 0 here so I know where I'm going to come to when I come back. So let's go ahead and take this cut. At 0, we're going to get a nice smooth feed as we feed back in. The thickness of this part is 1 inch. So I'm going to go 1 inch plus about another quarter to half an inch, just to make sure I've got enough room for my part off tool. So there's the OD. Let's take a measurement. So I am measuring at 2 inch 242, and I want to be at 2 inch 225. So I've got another 17 thousandths on this diameter. So let's come back in. Now I already set my 0. So I know I can come back to my 0 point on my dial and then go another 17 thousandths, and it should cut. Okay, let's take our measurement, make sure that we're at 2 inch 225. All right, so the material's flexing a little bit. I'm at 2 inch 226, but that's within tolerance and I'm good. So we're gonna take care of that. Now, one other thing that I wanna do here real quick is I also wanna put a chamfer on the outside edge. So I'm going back in with my facing tool, and I'm just gonna put a chamfer on that corner. So there's my chamfer. So read your print, see what the print actually calls for, and then you can kind of chamfer that. So, okay. So now, next step is to center drill. So release the tailstock, bring this up, make sure your chuck is seated in the spindle, and we'll center drill. Center drill. Now it's going to be progressively moving my diameter up. So, and we will drill through fairly deep. Again, we need to go at least 1 1/4 inches deep on this because our thickness of our part finishes at 1 inch. So lock that in place. You can keep an eye on your spindle gauge for the depth. So, and you can use that right here to kind of determine how deep you are. There's my depth with the first drill bit. Let's bring this back out again. Let's go ahead and put in the second drill bit. back in here like this, lock it in, and now, there's 1 inch, there's 1 1/4, so that's about 1.5 inch deep on that hole. Move that back. So I'm gonna take this out. Our next step here, so we wanna go with a larger diameter drill to get that hole size. Since we're boring that out to size, we wanna be somewhere between a 64th to a 32nd undersize. So depending on your actual boring bar, so we wanna make sure that we have enough clearance for the boring bar to actually get in. Now at the same time, we're not gonna be able to really see and tell exactly how deep we're going. So I'm gonna come in now. The tip of my tool, we're still cutting this way. So I'm gonna come in here, and now we're gonna go back the other way. So, and I'm touching off on the ID. So now this is the ID, and I pay attention again to where my dial is, but now I'm going the opposite direction. So let's go, I'll take about 30 thousandths off here. And what I'm looking at is to make sure that I'm not hitting on the back of my boring bar. So I need to go a little deeper with this. And now again, I'm gonna basically be taking this in. Make sure you're taking enough of a cutter, have enough clearance for your boring bar, so that you're not hitting on the back side. And we also got to make sure we go deep enough. Now, I still have quite a bit of size to go on this one, so I'm going to progressively bore that hole to size. Okay, at this point, let's take a measurement. We want the hole diameter here to be 3/4 of an inch. So right now I am at 660 thousandths. So I still have about another 90 thousandths to go on this size. Now, I went for broke, so I want you guys to kind of make sure we got to hold that size. So I'm taking a 90 thousandths depth of cut. Overall, when I get to the bottom of my hole, back it off of center and come out so you don't hit that. So, take your measurement. So, measurement is good. The last thing now is to part off. And to part off, so I'm going to, we want to be at 1 inch. So I'm going to come back up here now. Now I'm setting this off of my dial. So we're going to kind of come up here. We would touch off with the tip. So just rough touch, or I could use some paper. So I'm right about there. So I have to start by moving the 100 thousandths. With my cutter. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. On my part off tool, the part off tool is 100 thousandths thick. So I touch off of the face. So, or I can use paper to feel where that is, then I move in 100 thousandths. Now I know I've got to go 1 inch more than that, so So let's go 1 complete revolution on this machine is, so let's come back. So there's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 650, 700, so 800, 900, and 1 inch. So there's 1 complete revolution on this dial is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm there, I'm making sure that I've got enough clearance between my tooling and the jaws of my chuck so I don't hit that. So now I'm ready to kind of come in and part this off. Okay, at this point I'm getting fairly close. So, and just as a safeguard, so we're gonna bring this in here. So we're gonna we're not gonna go in deep, but we just wanna kinda help to catch that when it parts off. So we're gonna turn this back in. And there we go. My part is complete from the first side. I just need to go back in, flip it around on the other side, chamfer it, chamfer the hole or deburr the hole and make sure that it fits nicely. But that's the process that we're going to use to get this part finished. Okay, now how many minutes was that video?